Hey, how are you? It's John Powell, your friendly farmers agency owner, and Eli Ballou, our
Hello.
account representative here at the Powell Agency. And we wanted to reach out because we're getting some calls now that renewals are coming around about increasing insurance costs. And I know it's something that none of us like. We're both consumers. We both have insurance.
We get it.
We do. We feel this pain right alongside of you. So we wanted to make a video and really go over what's happening in the state of Texas, what's happening in the industry, and then more particularly what's happening here with your policy at farmers. And so the first thing is we're seeing increases of about 40% statewide. So that's all insurance companies,
Not just us.
not just us. That's from the coastline up to the state line and from state line to state line. And a big part of that is because of last year's winter storm. Estimates show that there are 210 deaths related to last year's winter storm, and the comptroller here in the state of Texas estimates that the cost of that storm to the state of Texas is going to be between 80 to 130 billion dollars, although only 20 billion of that was covered by insurance, or at least at this point is projected to be covered by insurance. So what does that mean? It was a really expensive storm statewide. It wasn't just centralized to one region here in Texas. Usually when we see storms, we see hailstorms up here. We see hailstorms down south, or rather hurricanes down south, and they're kind of localized. We didn't have that with this last storm in 2021, and that had a massive impact on the insurance industry. The good news as a client of Farmers Insurance and of the Powell Agency is that we are one of the few carriers that paid those claims. Here in our office, we paid claims of up to $110,000 for burst pipes. I know hearing that if you're one of our clients that didn't file a claim doesn't necessarily make you feel a whole lot better. But the whole point of insurance is that everybody puts in a little. So when they need that $450,000, $500,000, or in this client's case, $120,000, that money's there without having to self-insure. And that's really what we seek to accomplish as an agency, and what Farmers seeks to accomplish as an insurer is to make sure that everyone has the money, the coverage, the protection that they want and that they need when they need it.
Absolutely.
There's some other things that have contributed to these costs as well. We have inflation. As an insurance company and as an agency, we don't set the cost of studs or shingles, bumpers and brakes. That's all done by contractors. That's all done by body shops. What we seek to do is make sure that you have the right coverage, the right protection, and the right policy, so you have what you need when you need it most.
Exactly.
And so we use tools and resources to go through rebuild rates. We have tools like 360, that's this nifty program that tells us how much your home should cost to rebuild, so that we make sure that you have the protection that you need. And then also little things like endorsements. Every homeowner's policy in Texas has gaps. We try to present ways to fill those gaps so that you're not blindsided with a $20,000 expense and $80,000 expense, depending on what type of a claim it is. You have what you need when you need it. COVID, as I'm sure you've seen in the news, supply chain issues. There's still ships off of the port of Los Angeles that are waiting to offload a lot of the materials that go into our automobiles, that go into our homes, and we just can't get them back. And because of that, there's some supply and demand issues, and that's driving costs up. And again, since we don't set those costs, we just make sure that you have what you need when you need it. That's driving the underlying cost of insurance up as well. Last but not least, if you've been here in Texas for any period of time, you've noticed that things are starting to get expensive. Home prices are going up. Rent is going up. Fuel prices, I just filled up yesterday. That wasn't inexpensive. Groceries, just went to the grocery store recently, got some milk and cereal, and it cost my wife and myself $70. I think it's $77 for a couple of apples, a couple of half gallons of milk, and a couple of cereals. So what does that mean? Labor costs are coming up as well. So the people that put our things back together again need more money to support their families. Absolutely. So those costs are going up as well. So I wanted to have a good understanding of the why. Now let's talk a little bit about what it means to you as a family, what it means to you as a insured of ours, and what it means to you as a consumer. Well, first of all, we know everybody has a budget.
Of course.
Eli's got a budget. I have a budget. We all need to be mindful of where we spend our money. It's a finite resource. We don't have an infinite amount of it. And we realize that. So if you are out shopping when you get that renewal notice, I get it. I'm a person, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a homeowner here in Plano, Texas, right by the agency. So I get it. I know what that feels like. But what I ask of you is to keep us in the loop. Mm-hmm. Not all policies are created equally. As a matter of fact, insurance is really heavily regulated, but it's not necessarily heavily regulated just what's inside of it, but heavily regulated in the cost of it. Mm-hmm. So the Texas Department of Insurance says, and they're our chief regulator, that by law in Texas, insurers must charge rates that are fair, reasonable, and adequate for the risks that they cover. So a lot of time, Eli will hear me talk about 250 milligrams of Tylenol is 250 milligrams of Tylenol because the FDA says that's how much acetaminophen has to go in there. For a homeowner's policy, $3,000 worth of insurance is typically going to be $3,000 worth of insurance, right? That's just how insurance works. So the job is making sure that you have the insurance that you want and making sure that you have the coverages that you and your family deserve and desire when you need them. So when you're out shopping, keep us in the loop. When you get those quotes, if you would, email it to us. Eli will take a look. I'll take a look. Alyssa, Melissa, all of the ISTAs. We're here to take a look, you said from John, and see what you're buying. Because there's terms in insurance like all peril versus name peril.
Very different.
All peril means, hey, we're going to cover all of it unless we tell you up front we're not. Name peril says this is what we're going to cover. And as a consumer, a lot of times we don't know what could go wrong. We just know that we have an insurance policy, and then they come out and they say, oh, geez, I wish I could help you.
Just kidding.
But you don't have coverage for that. That's not what I want for my clients, and I don't think that's what my clients want for their families.
It's not what they deserve either.
It's not what they deserve. Absolutely. Great point. There's also little clauses in there like replacement cost value, which means the same like, kind, and quality, less your deductible, or actual cash value, which takes depreciation into account. So if you have a couch and depreciation's 10 years and you've had it for 10 years, that means that you just don't get anything. So what we have here is the ability to build policies that no one else can build, but also build the same policies that other people can build. So when you keep us in the loop and we go through those proposals and we say, hey, this is kind of what you're giving up, this is what you're keeping, are you comfortable there? And you say, yeah, I think I'm comfortable there. We go, great, let's take a look at what that would cost and then keep your discounts in line. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that all of the discounts that you qualify for based on what you do for a living, how long you've lived where you lived, your driving behaviors, your good credit, all of these different things that you get for being a client at Farmers, we want you to keep those things. There's also little things we want you to keep, like declining deductibles. Every year that you go claim-free, Farmers gives you a little bit of a credit towards your deductible. Mm-hmm. Multi-line discounts. Talk to Eli when she calls you and she says, hey, let's talk about your policy. Those recommendations that she's making aren't there to sell you something. It's to help you see that, hey, what you're already doing outside, if you do it here, you're going to get a bigger discount. Mm-hmm. You're going to get more value, and you're going to consolidate. You're going to have one number to call when you have a claim, because I've been in auto accidents. That's her. Yeah. I've been in auto accidents. I've had home claims, and there's nothing worse than going through my phone and saying, okay, which app do I use for this claim?
Which 800 number am I going to call?
Which 800 number am I going to call?
Which call center am I going to call today?
Yeah. Calls here, 469-850-0860. And we are ready to start that claims process to support you and make sure that you get back to normal.
Of course.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you understand what you're buying. We want you to understand why you're buying it, meaning, do you want that protected or do you not want that protected? And then we want you to understand how it's going to perform at claims time. So when you have to pick up the phone, when something bad happens, we want you to know what to expect and how we're going to work diligently along with Farmers Insurance or Foremost Signature, Bristol West. We have a whole bunch of insurance companies here, whomever it may be, to get you back to normal as quickly as humanly possible, because we know that's what you're paying for. Mm-hmm. So as always, if you have questions, please call us, text us, email us. We're going to send this video via email. We're also going to send it via text. If you see it, it's going to be a hyperlink. So if you see this in the email before you see it in your phone, it's not a virus. It's actually
awesome.
It's us. It's a hyperlink text to this video. And we're going to send you some resources from Farmers Insurance Group that you see on our screen here. Mm-hmm. And we're going to send you some resources from the Texas Department of Insurance, because we want you to be an educated consumer. We want you to get what you deserve, and we want to partner together with you throughout life. So, again, this impacts us. It's something that we don't have control over, but we do empathize. We understand that no one wants to see costs going up for anything, but especially insurance, especially when we have lizards and other folks talking about how inexpensive you can get it. Just know this is a statewide thing, especially for homeowners. And Texas was recently named, or Dallas rather, was recently named the second most deadly metroplex to drive in North Texas. So we are seeing some increases in costs, but we're here to help you manage those. We are your local neighborhood insurance agency to partner with you every step of the way. So I'm sorry, this is the first time that you've seen my face. This may be the first time that you see Eli's face. I should be doing these videos more frequently, and I apologize for that. But I felt like this was a really good time to connect and just let you know that we're here. We're aware. We're working diligently. We're on your side. We're agents. That means that we're advocate. No, 100%. We'll advocate for you. That's why we're here as an agency, is to help our clients get what they want and understand those 3 key topics about insurance buying. So thank you so much for being one of our clients. I hope after the last 11 minutes you've actually made it to this point. Thank you so much for watching this video. And again, we're here to serve you. So thank you so much for allowing us to do that.
Thank you.
Be safe.